Just when you think the community's expectations for Valve cannot get any lower in regards to CS2, Valve finds a new way to surprise us, and the community finds a new way to be disappointed once again. I am Germ, a CS2 collector, investor, and cash trader, and in this video today, we're going to be going over what Valve's latest, excitement or celebration was for the 1-year anniversary of the release of CS2, and kind of how the community has felt about it, and what this means going forward and for the future of Counter-Strike 2. Before we get into that, just want to mention my cash trading business. If you're looking to sell any of your CS2 items, turn them into cold hard cash or crypto or any other payment method, definitely hit me up over on Twitter. It's going to be the first link in the description below. We're buying pretty much anything and everything for the right price. You guys can see here some patches, some knives, gloves, cases, all kinds of different stuff that we bought recently. So whatever you have, if you're looking to move it for a reasonable price, hit us up. We can probably get a deal done. And of course, by selling to me, you're helping support my channel and my content. With that being said, let's get right into this video today. So again, leading up to the CS2 1-year anniversary, the official release of CS2 was September 27th, I believe, of 2023. Obviously, that was now a couple of days ago. We had a couple of days of hype leading up to it, and then a couple of days after to kind of take in what all has happened. We had tweets like this leading up to this day. Arrow saying, really am feeling something big tomorrow for the CS2 anniversary. This is why so many bugs have been left unpatched. The devs were just waiting for one large update. They also wanted to push the large Deadlock update first, so CS wouldn't overshadow it. At least expect AntiChe, which is just kind of funny. I think he's mostly joking and being ironic. A lot of, hopium and copium there. Jesus tweeting out, don't expect even a tweet acknowledging the anniversary, guys. They know how toxic the response would be, so they're not going to bother. And what Jesus is saying here is like, they don't have a big update planned, so they're not just going to give us a tweet, because if they just gave us a tweet with no big update, people would be like, oh, wow, fuck Valve. I can't believe all they did was tweet out when we have all these, unmet needs and stuff like that. And yeah, guess what? Unfortunately, Arrow and Jesus were both correct, because you can see here, Counter-Strike's latest tweet was from September 10th. I don't know if they've had any replies or anything since then. No, literally their last tweet was September 10th. It's been 3 weeks now since they've even tweeted anything on Twitter, but you can see here that they did on June 19th tweet, happy 25th birthday, the greatest video game ever made, Counter-Strike. So they did tweet the 25th birthday of Counter-Strike then. I think they also in March or April, somewhere around then, they did tweet the 1-year anniversary of the beta release of CS2. So I don't know, they have celebrated and tweeted about some anniversaries in the past. Maybe they didn't just want to keep tweeting about them, or the other hopium, copium, whatever you want to call it, is that maybe they're working hard behind the scenes right now. And they're just so busy that they didn't want to get anything out of this. Like some people said, though, maybe they're just not wanting to piss off the community and give them, some thing that they feel is inadequate at this point. And also, maybe they're cooking up something big. Maybe they're really, really working on something big, so they don't want to communicate or touch base until something really, really big is ready to go. Again, is that just going to be the Shanghai Major stuff? Is that going to be a new operation? Is that going to be some new collections, a new case? I don't know, but I do think it would make the most sense for Valve to have some kind of new content ready to go before the Shanghai Major. I know there's a lot of people out there saying, hey, we don't want stuff to compete with the Shanghai Major, but I don't think anything would compete with the Shanghai Major. I think the Shanghai Major would put eyeballs on new content that Valve puts out, so I think it would just make a ton of sense. Also, something else I can't believe and is very disappointing, we didn't even get a new significant update at all in the month of September. And again, you could see this as disappointing and frustrating, which I definitely do, but you could also see it as a sign that, hey, they're maybe potentially building up to something bigger, because they're not going to give us anything for a whole month, and that probably means there's probably a reason for that. Hopefully they're building up for something big, because what is very, very crazy is, again, we have had a significant news, or at least a somewhat significant news update every month for so long. August, July, June, May, April. In March, we had Copenhagen stuff. Then in February, we got Call to Arms. So literally, and December, we didn't have much in December, didn't have anything in January, but that eventually led to this big update, Call to Arms, in February. So again, the fact that we didn't get anything to September, hopefully that means we're getting something big, maybe on the level of something like Call to Arms now in October. I don't know, but literally for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months in a row, we got one of these news updates every single month. And now, not only did we not get a celebration for the anniversary, we didn't even get a significant update at all, anniversary or not, in the month of September. To me, that is a little bit disappointing. But as always, if it just means that something bigger is coming out in the future, or if and when they do finally drop some big banger, exciting, fun update that fixes a bunch of things, whatever. If Valve is able to do that, people are going to forget all about this. People aren't going to care that you didn't do an anniversary tweet. People aren't going to care that you didn't drop an update in September. But just in the meantime, until those things actually come out, it is going to be pretty frustrating and pretty disappointing. On some other weirder notes, we did get this new anti-cheat and deadlock. Now, I will tie this back into CS2, don't worry. New anti-cheat and deadlock will allow players to turn cheaters into frogs for the rest of the game. When a user is detected as cheating, during the game session, the opponents will be given a choice between banning the user immediately and ending the match or turning the cheater into a frog for the rest of the game and then banning them afterwards. It's funny, it's cute, I don't know, I think it's pretty stupid, but whatever. If that's what they want to do, I don't really mind too much. But then we did get this from this ex-Valve dev or something like that. Burton J says, holy crap, they finally built codename FU surprise mode. When I worked on VAC, Rich and I designed this for CS, but the cheater was a chicken. So, guy who worked for VAC previously. Ex-Valve dev shared that a similar anti-cheat feature was once considered for Counter-Strike, but instead of a frog, cheaters would turn into chickens. Now, this guy, he started getting, people I think started flaming him on Twitter saying, start working on CS2 or fix VAC or, give us some kind of update or whatever, which is weird and stupid. And then he came out and was like, why don't the devs talk to us? Showing that, hey, the community is very toxic and flames people about the game and stuff. And maybe that's why devs don't talk to them, which is fair in his instance, because again, it seems like he literally has in his bio, he does not work at Valve. So if he doesn't work at Valve and, isn't involved with this stuff right now, flaming him about the state of VAC or the state of CS2 or whatever is very weird. It's very cringe, and obviously Twitter can be a very, very cringe place, but all communities have bad eggs. They have vocal people who, don't necessarily represent the greater good and everything. And I'm not saying that CS2 community isn't toxic, especially about the state of CS2 right now, but to say the devs don't talk to the community because the community is toxic is, I think, pretty unfair and I think pretty stupid. And there's a bunch of people in the comments being like, oh, you guys are just proving the point of why Valve doesn't talk to the devs, because now they're flaming this guy and blah, 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 blah. But like Epidemic says here, he says, with all due respect, I feel for what you got sent from assholes, but this is also a byproduct of how Valve refuses to give us any sliver of communication and or do anything about the issue entirely. One person, one line of communication at all would resolve a large percentage of it. And I do agree with that. This guy says, why don't the devs talk to us? And he's saying it's because everyone's so toxic, but also in part, everyone is so toxic because Valve never talks to them, never gives them any updates, never lets them know what's going on. And if there's some clear line of communication, yes, people will still be toxic and people are still going to flame when they don't agree or whatever, but it would at least, I think, ease a lot of the community. I think a lot of the community would be understanding and at least, receive what's happening a little bit better if Valve was giving us some kind of timeline or some kind of updates or some kind of path forward, which is also very, very commonplace for many other devs now. Now, obviously, you could argue, hey, Counter-Strike still does a lot better than a lot of those, has a lot better game, community, longevity, all that stuff. Yeah, sure. But there's, when you compare to like Riot Games or something like that, teams and communities that do a lot better with community interaction. Those communities are very toxic as well, but the communities do seem at least happy with the kind of communication stuff that's going on. We had Pagu saying every single time any figure related to CS in any way talks publicly and reaches a wider audience, it always turns into a shit show. Any dev reply on global offensive events always full of idiots replying with completely unrated stuff or outright attacking the devs. Twitter's even worse, blah, blah, blah. Vatcoin says it's quite ironic to defend CS2 devs who don't communicate to be banned by a false positive that has been corrected for over a year to find and correct bugs for Valve, to demand a place to discuss and block Twitter accounts without having discussed. Valve unbanned him. I do believe Pagu, is banned on CS for right now. I think it was something using something in the console commands or something like that. But yeah, he's coming in to defend the devs. I thought this was just funny. Valve's deadlock, cheaters get turned into frogs, and our anti-cheat in CS2 is literally nothing, with people spin botting all over the place. As far as when we're going to get that new big CS2 update, and like I said, I just wanted to talk about that cheating stuff to say that I get why it's frustrating that the community can be so toxic, but I don't think that's why Valve doesn't talk to us. I think it's more so the community is a little bit more toxic to these people because Valve is not very communicative, and I do wish they were. X Mercy saying, this is my last hope, otherwise I'll be convinced CS2 is being treated as a gambling simulator. A game-changing update a few weeks before the Shanghai Major. He does say here, I've covered this previously, that Call to Arms came 40 days before the Copenhagen Major, so, to maybe get something 40 days before the Shanghai Major starts would put us around mid to late October. So he's saying it is still possible to get a big significant update right before the Shanghai Major and to not give up hope just yet. I believe the Shanghai Major starts like November 30th or December 1st or somewhere in there. So again, that would put us like October 20th, October 21st, something like that. And that is still possible. That is still potentially lining up. So we'll have to wait and see there. Again, still holding out some hope in some different regards. 11 years later, and it's like nothing changed. In 2013, apparently they said Counter-Strike turned 1 year old today. And they didn't have anything scheduled. There's no big updates, no new news, whatever, no content. So again, it's not unlike Valve to not have some big kind of content come out for anniversaries or different celebrations or stuff like that. And then I thought this was just funny as well. Wait, what if CS2's banner this whole time has been hinting at the upcoming anti-cheat? Again, talking about them potentially having a mode where they turn cheaters into chickens, and Valve's CS Twitter banner right now being a chicken, which I did think was kind of funny. So I am a little bit sad and disappointed that there was no anniversary content, no new update, no new news, and no new line of communication, no tweet, no anything celebrating the 1 year anniversary of CS2. But obviously, we as a community still celebrated it ourselves, and I think people still made a good did a good job celebrating what CS2 has been in the past year, which has been a very crazy time and a very crazy release. We have a brand new game. It looks beautiful. It doesn't play how we want it to yet, and it doesn't have all the content we want it to yet, but I do think there's at least a skeleton in the core of something great to be had here in the future, and I know people are frustrated that that future is not going to be here sooner than they want, but I do still think that CS2, the community, the game, and everything can still be great, and I do think we're going to end this year strong because we have the Shanghai Major, which is going to be very, very big. I think it's going to help grow the game immensely. I think the viewership is going to be insane. And I do hope that 2025 and year 2 of CS2 will just be a little bit more successful with, reaching some new milestones and peaks than the first year was, obviously. But still, I think CS2 has a bright future ahead of it. I'm disappointed, but I'm not totally shocked or heartbroken either. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully catch you in the next one. Until then, peace.